then we will start from there. Amazing. So the recording is up and running. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, so welcome to the algorithm and flowcharts or pseudocode lesson, right? So basically what we are trying to do is very simple. We are trying to learn more about what the flowcharting and basically anything that is said to be programmatical about this thing is all about, right? So we mentioned about using a certain book to solve this thing, but before we actually go about using this book, right, like let's try to abstract and then use some examples. I thought about a few ones, but after we are done, maybe we can talk about some more and then see how we can go about that. So you would discuss. Okay, it's a discussion, like I said. So before we actually go into doing this plenty things, let's try and then do one simple one. Okay, like one that should be very easy. Please, what's the voting age in your country? You can chat it in, or you can unmute and then mention it.
18.
18. That's nice. Anyone else?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so I'm asking that what is the voting age in your country?
I still can't get you. Good type.
Say again.
I can't get you type. Can you please type? Putting up.
I said if you go, if you can type or I can type.
Can you type? Type the question. I can see your screen.
Okay, so looks like most of it is 18, right? Amazing. So that is something that we are going to do. We are going to do a program, or we are going to write the pseudocode for a program that would guess the name of the user. Sorry. Well, let's not think about the name yet. Let's um ask the name of. I keep saying name. Let's ask the age of the person, or let's check whether the person is of age to vote or not. Okay, so um, mostly most answered was 18. So let's say we are going to develop an algorithm for a program that asks for the user's age and checks, um, let's say confirms. How about decides if they can vote or not? So um, here we have already established that the voting age is 18, right? So that's going to be 18. Oh, there's a normal text editor, please. Just normal text editor. Normal text editor. Nothing fancy. Okay. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to just think about the like the problem. For now, don't worry about the order that it has to go through. Wow, brainstorm. Okay, so let's just think about the program. We are going to develop an algorithm for a program that asks the user like for the user's age and decides if they can vote or not. Wow. Today looks like my grandma has gone on vacation. So um, let's start talking. What are some features or what are the things that need to happen like before or in the program? Like it can be the first thing, it can be the last thing, it can be the thing inside, like within the program, like anything. It can be anything at all. So what do you think we should do in this program? For now, don't worry about it being in the order, whether first or second. After we are done, we'll think about that one. So, everyone, the floor is open. And please, I prefer if you could type it. Like, I don't normally go to the. Sorry, I mean, if you could say it, right? Like, let's be interactive. First, facts.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. So I
Yeah.
think the
Okay.
program has to start, and
Okay.
then there should be some kind of thing.
So again. So we start the program. Right. So maybe another person can say something else. So we start the program.
You,
Anyone else with the
you
next step?
you set a conditional statement, I think.
Yeah. So okay. So set a conditional statement. Um, would you like to continue this one? Like, what conditional statements? Like, are you or just any specific?
The maybe the if statement, something like that.
Okay, but I'm trying to ask, like, what condition are we setting?
Okay, so you said the program is for deciding if someone is up to age to vote, yeah? So
Right.
you're setting a conditional statement as to if if they are up to the age of voting,
Okay. So the
then
user
do
of age.
this or do that.
Okay. So someone says we start a program. Another says that we set a conditional statement. That is user of the voting age, right? So from here, then we make the decisions either to say yes or no, right?
Uh, I think the program should just start by accepting, like you setting, uh, let's say for example, just write age is equals to accept input, and inside the accept input, you write the person's, like the statement you want it to display to the person you are asking his or her age. So after that, I think then you can move to the conditional statement.
Okay. So let's bring in more ideas. So like I'm saying, everything you're saying, I'm typing it, right? So after we are done, then we can go through it one more time and see which one goes where, which one goes, or which of the options are we using, which one should we take, right? Which one might do a better work, right? So
Okay, so I think okay, first you get the number from the user, then check if the number is negative.
great.
Then what was that again? That's why I know for now. That's why I know for now.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I particularly like the fact that you said we should check if the number is negative. Great.
Okay,
Please, more, more. Yeah.
can everyone hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so I think the output at the end of the program should be if the person's age, that's like maybe a variable age, if age is 18 or and above, then you are eligible to vote. Yeah.
Okay.
Then if not, you are not eligible to vote. Those should be the output. Yes.
You vote to vote. Else, uh, else the output should be you are not eligible to vote. Great. Are there any more?
Hello.
Yeah, and the program can end.
Program can end. Okay.
I think. Hello.
Yeah.
I think when they say check if the number is negative, if it comes out negative or a character, the user should be allowed to input again to try again.
Yeah. Please come again.
If the number is negative, the point that the other guy said, if the number is negative or a character, the user should be allowed to input again to try again.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also like to add that you can set a condition to also prevent decimals.
That's nice. Amazing. Amazing. Events decimals. Right. Should we take more, or should we pause at this point and then let's see how we can bring all these ideas together? Does anyone have anything more that we can say? I mean, there's cool more things that can happen. I mean, people have a lot of things under their space. Please bring them out. Bring them out. Calvin, Charles, all the other ones. Yeah. I see Sam. Sam, where are you? Lawal. Okay, you said it has to start by accepting input from the user. Great. Um, do we have more?
Yeah, so after it accepts the input from the user, it will
Right.
display a text that what is your age, and then the user enters his or her age, and then it will move to the conditional execution of Zoba. I think I'm right, Zoba or Kafo.
Yeah. Please come again. You said after it has done what?
After it has displayed the message, what is your age, and then the user inputs his or her age, it will move to the conditional statement that Zoba said. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
After getting user stage. Right. Something like this. Right. Like you should move to the conditional statement after getting the user's age. Right.
I also think that before the condition, after the user types in their name, it should display the user's name, like the user's input.
So before the conditional statement, it should do what?
Yeah. After getting the input from the user or their age, it should display the age for the user to see what
Okay,
input they put in there.
let's put the age entered by the user. Okay, so after the user enters their age, you show it back to them that, hey, this is what you typed. Okay. I mean, if they are mobbing them, these are very very nice thoughts. I mean, this can be a very big project that we can have.
Can I suggest one more?
Sure.
Um, Also, to only take numbers and not letters.
Okay. So accept numbers and not letters. That's good. Okay. So at this point we have from 11 to 28, which is a very good number of like thoughts that we've brought out. So I think we can sort of start to look at look at it and then see where we can maybe start putting it. So let's start to um, order the steps. So right. So let's start to go by, let's say, step by step. Which one do we do first? Which one do we do next? But so before we do that, I'll go through all that we've said, and then by then you can also start. I mean, and at this point, you can start writing down like the steps that you think you should be, right? So currently we have multiple steps over here. So the one that you think should be in the actual steps should be written. Try to write them down, and then also the other one that you think shouldn't be there, you can take it out, and then you can give a reason why you think it shouldn't be there. So after this, then I would ask you. So someone said that we start a program. Then another person also says we set a conditional statement which asks or checks if the user is of the voting age, which we said is 18. Right? Then another person says that we start a program by asking the age of the person by setting age to an input, which will give us the age of the person by first displaying the message, what is your age, and then after we do that, we move to the conditional statement, which was said earlier by Zoba. Right? Then another person also says we get the number from the user, and we also check that it is. We check if the number is negative, right? But then I would have also liked if you mentioned what we should have done if it was negative, right? That would have been a very nice add up. But now that we know, you can also write that down in your this one why you think it is necessary to check whether it is negative. Right. And then someone also says if the age is 18 and above, then we output the message you are eligible to vote, else we output that the person is not eligible to vote. Then another person says that we end the program. Of course, we end the program. Then we can also check if the number is negative or a character. And if it is, we prompt the user for a valid age, right? And then I added a few things over here for positive integers. So after that, we can talk more about that. Another person says we should prevent decimals. I don't know why he said we should prevent decimals, but then now that you know about it, we can think about why it is that way, right? So um, once you write down your steps, you can now decide which is the reason why decimals shouldn't be in the age and why you wouldn't want decimals in your age, right? Then another person says remove the conditional after getting the user's age. So this has been an occurring thing, right? So another person says that before the conditional statement, we display the age entered by the user. So before we ask them, or sorry, before we check whether the user is 18 years and above or less, we print back their name to, their username. Hey, I keep saying username. I was working on something that is username, so you print out their age to them, right? So you show them their age before you do the conditional statement. Then another person also says that we accept numbers and not letters, right? So something similar to if number is negative or character, prompt the user for a valid input or age, right? So these are the steps that we've gotten so far, which are very nice. Okay, so now let's try and then go into each of the steps, or someone can volunteer and then let's say you tell us what you have written, right? Like you tell us what you have written, and then we can like sort of cross-reference with other people and see what they have done, right? So let's see how we are going about that. This one is not copying, right? This one is sharing. So let's get sharing. Who is who is sharing? Oh, we are still
Okay,
writing down. Okay,
sorry to
great.
take us back.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think since we started the program, I think we should also end the program.
Yeah, sure. Someone mentioned end the program over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the yeah. Nice. Yeah. So let's see how we go about solving this problem. Right. All that we are trying to do, in case you just joined, is that we are trying to write an algorithm or the pseudocode for a program that will ask the user's age and decide if they can vote or not. And then we have the voting age to be 18. Right. So if they are 18 years and above, they can vote. If they are not, then they are they are not allowed to vote. Right. And you've come up with lots of ways that this can help, or like more multiple ways that we can go about the program, like the program. So now let's see how we can put these pieces together. So let's just say in the next few minutes we would come back and then see how we would do that. I would also. Is someone recording again?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I never knew there's already a recording.
Okay, no problem, no problem. I mean,
Yeah,
if
so
you're also recording,
sorry,
then fine.
please, I don't know if we can quickly like recap on that pseudo code because I joined lately. I had to like finish a meeting before joining.
Okay. So basically, when we talk about the pseudocode, it is not real code. So you see, when we are talking about algorithms or programs, we normally maybe tend to think about coding it out and then talking about it. But then, okay, let's see. I saw this example in one of the resources that they gave us, and I think it's a very nice example. So you see that you have a jar. I'm actually having a jar in my hands right now, my jar of coffee anyway. So if I wanted to tell you how to open this jar, I could just maybe tell you to open it, but then if you needed a step-by-step process, I would have to tell you that okay, so hold the jar in your hands, then with your other hand free, on top of the jar, like the lid, the cover, then you apply pressure and you twist counterclockwise so that it will start to open. You do that until
Okay, yeah, yeah, I remember.
yeah. So you do that until the lid is open, right? Or maybe another thing that we can do is let's think about what was this other example? Um, let's think about I mean, at this point, most of us have phones that can do portraits or anything. Or for now, if your phone can't do portrait, don't worry. But let's say someone asks you how to take a picture, right, with their phone. So how are you going to teach the person to take that picture with their phone? So how you go about telling the person how to take the picture is your algorithm, right? That is like the algorithm that you are following to do that, right? So once you write that down, or like once you write it into clear text that says, go here, do this, I mean, from here you do this, like the way that we have recipes having their steps. So maybe you tell the person, um, unlock your phone, click on your camera app. When the screen opens, you click on that white thing. It depends on the phone though. So you may want to also find more information about what the person is using, what phone the person is using. So after you've seen that, then you can make more. But to generalize it, you can say they should open their phone or unlock the phone, um, search for the camera app, which looks like a camera on their phone, and then once they open the camera app, they should look for a button that is mostly round. On mostly it is at the bottom of the screen where the camera is open, and then they just click on that button, and it should take the picture. Well, I'm not sure if other phones have their capture button somewhere else. So for those cases too, maybe you'd want to check that. And basically, how you go about solving the problem is your algorithm. You can even write an algorithm about how you bath, right? So maybe you can take that as a challenge. When you go to the bathroom, what do you do first? How do you go about bathing? Well, what are your routines? I hear people have routines. I just go to the bathroom and I come out. Anyway, yeah, so think about those things and maybe try to use real life situations and then write the the algorithm or your pseudocode about how you go about your daily tasks, right? So that's what we mean by the pseudocode and then algorithms and those things. Basically, your step-by-step process to achieve something. That is what the algorithm is all about. Hopefully, that helps you understand that. Now, to those who have written down their answers, please can you share? Hello, everyone. Please, like I said, let's start sharing. Or are we still writing?
Hi, Maxwell.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please
Oh,
continue.
okay. So, let me state what I got so far. It could be wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. So I know to start, you have to set the modalities for whatever it is you're writing. So
Go by right.
based on the examples they were given in one of the videos, in the resources we were given. So you have to
Right.
state if you're using a loop, a boolean, or whatever that is. But this is
Mm.
what I've written so far. So to start, when you start, you have to set the
Okay.
variable to ask for the user's age, and then
Set
go ahead
variable.
to I'm not sure if variable is the right word though, but I'm just saying. So you're the senior, you should know better.
Okay.
So you
Okay. So
set the variable to
I'm trying
ask
to.
for
Okay. So
for
you're
the
saying
for the user's age.
so
Input,
with
yeah, input user's age, yeah.
like so we start the program, then we set the variable, then we do it again.
Yes, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if variable is the right word. So, but the bottom line is after the start, you're asking for the user's age.
Yeah.
Then,
So
the,
should we
the
say ask for the user's age, or should we say
okay,
set
better,
the
yeah,
variable?
yeah. Or ask, yes, ask the user's age.
Okay. Ask
Then
for
you go ahead
users.
to give your conditional statement. So, let's say I'm using the for loop here right now. So
Okay.
for me, the conditional statement, number one conditional statement to be if age is less than 18. If age is less than 18,
All right.
then on the next line it will be print eligible. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. If age is greater than 18, greater or equal to 18, print eligible.
It's
I
all
made a
equal
mistake
to
with that.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greater or equal to 18, print eligible. Then
Okay.
else if else if age is less than 18,
Then 18.
print not eligible.
Friends, not eligible.
Yes.
Okay.
Then another conditional statement. If input is invalid or if age is invalid.
If age is invalid.
Yeah, say the user types in or inputs characters instead of numbers.
So like did you mention
So
how you are
if
going to figure out what is the invalid? Or maybe you can
invalid,
continue
like
telling us.
someone said, if they use if they use what's it called, a character to declare it. So if instead of writing 18, say for instance I'm the user, instead of imputing 18 as my age, I might go ahead to use the word 18, write in words instead of in numbers. Yeah. So
Okay,
the
so
program will read it as invalid response. Yeah.
okay, so how do you say that in a sentence? Like how do you summarize that so that
If
it
input is
reads?
oh, that's true. Sincerely, I don't know. I'm stuck at that line. So, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
So
so
maybe
okay,
you can
fine.
help.
We can write this and then we can okay. So yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but then I was trying to say,
Yeah.
see if you could push a little bit and see if you can like say okay, if the age is this, then it is invalid.
Yes.
If it is this, then it's invalid,
For us,
right? So like
if
so
the
that we
response
can
is
have the
invalid.
test cases much easier.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe you can be in the background and then so go to the back end and then
Right. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I'll just say to be continued from this side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you,
um,
you get back to
Maxwell, Maxwell,
yeah, yeah,
for what she's saying, it will be
right,
much more easier if we can pass the age input to be only an integer data type.
right. So as soon as possible, let's grade. That's true. But
Yeah,
then
so
for now,
it will not accept any other data type except from integer. So once a user enters a string, it will just throw an error like invalid input. Then it will skip all these conditional statements and end the program immediately. You understand?
okay, so maybe you can take us through your process.
Exactly. You got what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So yeah,
think just before he goes, when she was head number 3 step, she said greater than or equal to. I think you didn't add the equal to.
He added it. He
yeah,
added it. He
it is
added it.
there. Just that mine is a little,
Okay, I can see clearly here. Okay.
yeah. Okay,
And then
so okay, maybe let me try turning it off. Like I have like a font that writes it differently. So instead of doing both, like it writes it in a very nice kind of way.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah. So that's the kind of fonts that I use. I would have to go in and then to remove that.
Oh, that's fine. Since it's there, that's okay.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
and then
So
Maxwell,
right.
this
Mm,
the condition for checking the input data type should be placed before the conditional execution. So you understand what I'm saying?
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That you can give me your steps. Right.
Okay,
Like
I should give you the steps.
yeah, like your steps that
Okay, so
you are
after
using.
age is equals to input, display what is your age, and then the user
Yeah. Can you
enters
give
the
me
age.
your like your name real quick?
My name is Lawal.
No, wow, amazing. Okay, so you say that was the first step.
Aha. Uh, please, can someone remind me of the keyword or the syntax used to check for a data type?
Okay, for now, don't worry about the program. Don't think about any code. Don't think about any code.
Okay,
We
okay,
are
okay,
we
okay.
are, we are
Just
like
let me give you the normal Sudoku. Okay. So age
if
if
age
age is not an integer value,
is not an integer value,
integer data type, sorry, integer data type.
data type.
Aha. So it will skip the conditional execution and end the program because we are only after integer data type.
Yeah, so if age is not an integer data type, then like I would like you to maybe like give me the like is it that like the pseudocode should be
Okay,
let's
yeah.
say short
Just write invalid input from user or
so if
invalid
age
input,
is so
not
if
an
age is
integer
an
data type.
integer data type, it's not an integer data type, output or print what
Print invalid
invalid.
input from voter or user.
Okay, invalid input from user. All right.
Yeah. So and then note this step must come before the conditional execution.
Yeah, so that's I'm asking you to give me your steps, like the exact steps that you are going through. So this is your number
Okay,
one.
the exact step. Okay. So the first one is on the line 14. Age is equals to accept input from a user.
So your first step is accept input from user.
Do you, do you think it should be like that?
I mean, we are asking you, right? So here's the thing,
Okay.
all right?
Accept
Yeah. So let's
accept
all try
accept
to
input from
yeah.
user.
Okay. Yeah, we
And
accept the
then
input from the user.
display what is your age,
Display what is your age.
and then move to the first conditional execution that we check for the data type of the user that the person inputs.
So how would you say that?
If age is not an integer data type, then write, then print wrong input.
Okay.
And then you move, and then if age is now an integer data type that the conditional execution has checked it, then it will move to this conditional execution that Zoba stated.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, now give us your like continue with your processes.
Okay,
So
I should continue.
yeah.
Okay. Then check if
If
age is greater than or equals to 18.
greater than or equal to 18,
Print you are eligible to vote.
you are eligible
To vote. And then
to vote.
else
Else, if
if age is less than or equals to less than 18, sorry,
less than 18,
print you are not eligible to vote.
parents, you are not eligible to vote.
Yeah.
All right, then are we done?
Yeah, that's all. So the program can end like that. I think that's my idea.
Okay, the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take one more and then we can start to go back and then see. So does one more person want to share so that we can start like explaining, talking about other things?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So my own understanding, to explain this now, so according, sorry, okay, yes. So
Yeah.
first of all, we'll say,
And
it
please,
should,
your name first, please.
blessed sound. Should he
Okay.
accept input? Should he accept input? Okay, yeah, accept, no, start rather, not accept.
Okay, start.
So once it starts, um, the user will enter an input, which is, so ask for age first of all. Ask for age.
Okay. Let me put my
Ask
coffee
for
down.
age.
Okay. Ask
All
for
right.
age. If I
So
can type well. Okay, ask for age.
yeah, ask
Okay.
for age or user age, anyone. So then,
Okay.
if that's a conditional statement, if I'm right.
If
So if user's age is greater than or equal to 18, then
user's age is
the
greater
or equal
equal to
to
18,
18, then the computer should print eligible to vote, eligible to vote. Else, if the user's age is less than 18, less than 18, then print not eligible to vote.
not eligible to
And
vote.
we want to also have a section whereby, some people might enter some data that is not an integer data, like a float data, you get. So that
Uh-huh.
section should be, if the input is
If the input,
not an integer input, that is number 1 2 3 to infinity, then
if
it
user's
should,
age is
yeah, so it should print, it's not an integer, print invalid data type or input.
Okay. Invalid input. Okay.
And then end.
Let me end the program.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you all for
And
your inputs.
before it ends that program, so if the user age is not an integer, print invalid, and then go back to step 4. Is it step 4? Is it step 4? If user's age is not okay, yes, you go back to step 4. If no, not step 4, you should go back to
Yeah.
step 2 rather. So you should ask for the age. That's if the age is not an integer. If it is an invalid, then the loop, I don't know if it's called a loop or a boolean. So you should go back to step 2 and then end until the person enters the correct this thing before it can proceed and then end the program. So that's to my own understanding. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we have 3 people, right? Maybe another person can say, but then I might not write that one. Right. So okay. Do we all have something like this, or we have something different?
Okay, mine is not particularly like this. Mine is just plain English.
Right.
Yeah, it's just plain English. I just like wrote it in sentences and all.
Okay. So like, can you read it read it like line by line, like the way that you did it?
Okay, let me just share my screen. Let me share.
Sorry, Maxwell. What text editor is this? Is this VI?
Running those text. No, no, no. This is GNOME editor. It's just it comes with Ubuntu. It is part of the
Okay.
Ubuntu system. Yeah.
Okay. But not for all systems now.
Not that I know of, but it is gedit. If you can separate, then fine. But um, it is part of the GNOME, which is part of Linux. So um, I've not tried it on any other system. This is the only system that I've used it on. So I don't know. I can't be sure. It's like Notepad in Windows, right? So this is like our Notepad, but it's nicer. I should add that one too. Someone was about saying something before.
Yeah. I've shared my screen. Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
shared. Yeah. So
yes.
that's it. That's what I have. I start the program, then uh, then the system gets the input from the user. That is when the user inputs his or her age. Then if the input is 18 and above, the user is eligible to vote. It means eligible to vote. Okay, I think there's a mistake here. If
Right.
the input is below 18, then it's he or she is ineligible to vote. Then if the input is a character, the system prompts the user to input a positive integer. So in this case, it has to be an integer and it has to be positive. So if the input is a character,
Right.
okay, I did this twice. So if the input is negative, it prompts the user to input a positive integer. So when all is done and gotten, it ends the program. According to my understanding,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. That's fine. Thank you for sharing. Um. Okay. Let's come back to my screen. So thank you all for sharing what you've written so far. These are all good. We would see how we can make them nicer and I mean, um, they can't get their job done. And then when you read this one, it talks about continually checking where you can make it better, right? So let's break it down one more time. I think I wrote something down earlier this morning, right?
Maxwell,
Um,
Maxwell,
yeah,
go back to the page that you wrote other people's suggestion. Yeah. So after this, accept input from user.
right.
Just write in front of it, like maybe someone should just give it a variable name first. Let's say age. Write age is equals to accept input from user on the first line.
Where?
On the first line of my code,
Um,
of my suggestion, sorry.
Lawel or which one?
Lawal, yeah.
So I should write what here?
Age is equals to accept input from user.
Okay.
Like write it in a small letter, small letter A.
Okay.
So the next line assign this age to a variable age in capital letter.
Assign
Small
age
letter A
to
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 capital letter H.
like this.
Yeah, like this. So after this,
Okay.
after it has assigned it to this, and then it will now print it will print the person age for the person to see it. Like erase that print what is your age. Erase it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But instead it does what?
It prints the person's age for the person to see it.
Okay.
Like, is this your age? Like to confirm from the person, like, is this the age that he has entered?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay here?
Assign age to age. And then, now it will print the age that the person has input.
Yeah. Or how do you want to write it?
Let me think of another way to write it. Let's say you should just print the age. Just print the age that the person has input.
Okay.
So that will be print capital letter age.
Right.
So then to move to if age is not, that's the correction I wanted to make. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So all these are fine. And I don't think it would be fine if I didn't also maybe show mine. Okay. So this one is, let's say, a little bit simpler. It was a quick something that I did earlier, right? So this was something very, very quickly. So what I did was that other people that I and then it has to be only positive integer or whole numbers, right? So no negative numbers or no decimal numbers, right? And then we take the date of birth of the person, right? So this is done to confirm the age of the person. Maybe someone might say 18 years old, but then when we check it by the current day, by the current date, the person is not 18 years old, right? So we compare the age with 18. So if the age is greater or equal to 18, then we say that you're qualified to vote, or else you are not qualified to vote. So then the other steps, as we just did now, is we take the date of birth of the user in the format this one, the day, the month, and then the year. Then we calculate the age from the date of birth, right? So at this point, the age is initialized. Okay, so we have initialized age to be the current year minus the person's date of birth, like that year. Right. So then now we come to check to compare, like we compare the age with the voting age. So if the age is greater or equal to the voting age, it means you are qualified to vote, else you are not qualified to vote. So this one was, let's say, a much more, I should say, simpler version. Um, we didn't implement some of the other things that have been mentioned here to check maybe if it is like to re-prompt the user if they entered the wrong thing. But we checked if the person entered a certain date or something. But anyway, that is what I did. Now let's come back and then scrutinize our code, right? Let's scrutinize ourselves and see whether we did the right thing. Okay, so I believe that we all are doing great things, and it's great. Please, someone raise the any who please.
Yes, actually, to that your this thing, to that your suggestion, I think that your yes. So I feel like yes, your this thing is great. So that there's this place where to that your own documents, yeah. Mhm. So there's this place where it says it should calculate the age from the date of birth, and if the age is initialized, the date is not equal to the 18, it should print the user is not eligible to vote, right?
Right.
Okay, so I feel like there should be also a content following that as well to like explain why that output came out, why the this thing displays user is not eligible to vote, because people will be like, "Ah, why did this thing just show me I'm not eligible to vote?" And they will just get tired of it. They don't know why the thing is printing such output. So I feel like there should be a place where the thing will print also the reason following the output. Okay, you are not eligible to vote because when your date of birth is being calculated, however, it's not matching. So the person will know that, okay, I did a mistake maybe in my own typing, or probably the person is just kind of lying. So I feel like there should be a clarification following the output. So that's just my this thing.
Yeah, sure. So thank you. That's also one way that we can improve the code to make it maybe more user friendly and like to do that. Right. Uh-huh. Then this particular one, it was just a quick one for our usage, right? So most of the things have not really been gone like we didn't really go much more into the thing, but that's a good thing to also uh, mention. Yeah, but I would also want to believe that everyone in the country should know that if you are not 18, you can't vote. But anyway, I mean, users are users. They will always have a way to piss you off. But anyway, yeah, that's a good suggestion which can be added nicely as well. So yeah, thank you. Okay. All right. So we've been able to do this particular one, right? So the reason why I made us do this was so that like we all will get, let's say, some familiarity. I see that we are all trying to get the thing done, but then some too are very like you are trying, but then you see, as much as possible, trying to make the thing very simple for yourself. I mean, maybe you would like to make it look very good, and that is good, but always try to do the most simplest one. Then you build up on that. Okay, so um, whilst I was doing the one that is in the first one, it was just mostly talking about it in very simple forms, and then start with the simple one. Then you can think about making it very complex. So I'll start from the can the person mute themselves, please? So I'll start from the first one that is like the last one that we saw. I see that your conditions are always if, right? So the if over there is just trying to say that you are going to go through all the if statements. Let's say, for instance, you are trying to do something, right? So maybe you say, if this is this, I'll do this, else I'll do this, right? So there can be two conditions, which you will do one of the other if the condition is true or false. Or you can have multiple conditions. You can say maybe if this is true, I'll do this. Else, if this is that, I'll do that. Else, if this is that, I'll do that. But then if all of these are not true, then I'll do this. Okay, so sometimes you may have to use the else if, else if, else if, or sometimes you don't even need an else if at all. There are only two conditions, right? And sometimes you can use else if to exhaust all the cases and you don't need an else, right? So as much as possible, think about it in your normal thinking way. Like, don't think about the code yet. Don't think about the code cry yet. Just think about the thing in normal sense. Okay, so um, I wouldn't say your pseudocode is bad, but I would say that um, we can all make our codes much better. I mean, you just saw someone give me a feedback, which is a good thing, and that's why we are here, right? So none of the codes here are bad, but then we believe that we can make it better, right? Because I see some very nice things that we mentioned over here. That if we had nicely implemented it, it would have been very nice. But then I see that maybe our um, ability to do that at this point might not get there yet, but then we've tried very well. So maybe at your own time, you can research more on how to write nicer pseudocodes, and then match ones like ones that are very clear. So try to make sure that like when you write each line should be very clear and unambiguous, so that when you start writing it in the code, you can take it and then write it very simply, right? So we spend much time on this one, and it was for a good reason, because I wanted us to be able to do this particular one. And here, like the reason why we are here is not to like just solve questions and then move forward. It's so that you can start thinking like a programmer or someone who would be developing software or engineering software, right? So it's not only about writing the code. So code is not, or software engineering is not about coding. It's far away from coding. It's very important that so some of the best software engineers that are out there still read back to figure out how to do certain things. But then the difference is because they know what they have to do. The concept is very important. So now we pause for a while for any questions, and then see if anyone wants has any question. Yeah, anyone has a question. Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Who is that I want to drag with me? Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Value,
Good
The,
evening.
welcome. Oh.
I have a very quick question, right? I just asked
Right.
When you arrive, let me
in the
give you
text
the
comments section. I always see
Okay.
most pseudocodes containing statements such as if, else, if. Are those the only are those words the only permitted words? Can't the pseudocode contain something like and or then? I don't know. I'm just thinking because this is my first exposure to pseudocodes and all these
Okay.
algorithm shit. Yeah.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Right. So over here, for instance, I'm saying that if the user's age is greater or equal to 18, then print this. Right.
Okay.
So
Then can
you can, yeah, you can use like syntax that is like accepted. It's because like the print and then the if and those things relate very well to us as programmers or software people, right? That's why they come out very boldly. The then is also one that can be used in other programming languages, or we can use it to also make it very clear to ourselves that if this is this, then do this, right? So um, any word that is acceptable or has a standard or maybe is agreed upon in a certain group, you can always use that. So maybe if in a team of 5, if this is how you want to write your pseudocodes, you can do something like that. So far as there's a standard for that.
okay, thank you so much. So can we attempt one other question?
Yeah, we are going to do that. Yes, please. For while anything that you can think about can be used, right? Even we can write like you may see some pseudocodes and then you may think whether they are pseudocodes at all. It only contains, let's say, very cryptic information, right? But then like anything that you would want to implement in your pseudocode, you can write it there. I mean, it's your pseudocode. So how you are going to translate the problem, that's how you are going to write it. Right? So there's no specific way of writing pseudocode. Like there's no like specific way. Just that there's been some ways that have been written which has become the recommended way, but we are not bound to do that. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
I wanted
Yeah,
to ask a question.
right.
Yes, so does it mean you can also just write pseudocode in like plain English, like without having to use these kind of technical words and just like write in plain English line by line?
Yeah, you so far as you're able to get your point across, that is the whole thing. You see, so that a pseudocode is basically saying, so the pseudo in the pseudocode means fake, right? So it's not real code. So anything that you can use to explain your work or your thoughts is allowed. If you can write solely English sentences, right? Over here is my my brainstorming for the one of the tasks. That's why I'm not going there. So I would have wanted to show you how like I wrote that down, but then you can see something like here. Um, the other one that comes in is a little to the end side. But you can see here that for step 1, it's take the date of birth of user in the format something, calculate age from date of birth, right? So you can mimic it as plain as you want. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So
Okay, Maxwell,
yeah.
you gave us a template to get like 3 questions. Like we should examine the first 3 questions, and I
Yeah.
looked at
Yeah.
only the first question. I couldn't move from there. I've been stuck. So can we please face it?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yes, to answer this question, yes, pseudocodes can be written without using loops, and the one that we have answered currently, some people use loops, some didn't use loops. So, for instance, mine doesn't use a loop, right? So I go from top to the bottom to that time, like from top to bottom. There's no looping going on over here in my code, but there's one code over here, like one percent pseudocode that says that if the user's age is not an integer, print invalid inputs and then go back to 2. So far as the numbers like a person's person is not valid, it will keep coming back to number 2 until it is valid, which it will do that, right? So, but this particular pseudocode, I would prefer if you could continue to refactor or like to review it and then make it better. So, as much as possible, make your your most specific conditions come first. Okay, so those are a few things that I would say that you do over there. Okay. Okay. So now let's okay, great. So let's see how this one goes by. So um are there more questions? Okay. Okay, so now let's look at this question. It is saying that a dog is 5 years old. Sorry. A dog that is 5 years old is equivalent to a 42-year-old human. Ashok is writing a program which converts the age of a dog to the equivalent age of for a human. The program uses the following method. The user inputs age of the dog in years. So for those who are asking whether pseudocode can be written in plain English, this is pseudocode in plain English. The user inputs age of the dog in years. If the age is 2 or less, the human equivalent is 12 times the age. If the age is more than 2, the human equivalent is 24 for the first 2 years, plus 6 for every additional year. And this is what we are supposed to do. Write an algorithm to calculate and output the human equivalent of the age of a dog using the method described. So this is our task. Let's get to work. What were you able to do? What were you able to bring out? For you, Ghanaian, okay, probably. Yeah. So, what were your outcome? What were you able to
Okay.
bring about?
So I classify the statement, right? That is
Right.
for me. I called the dog. I gave it a variable. I gave it a. Is it a variable? They call this to be a coefficient. I called it x rather, and I called
Okay.
human.
Yeah. Variable.
Yes, I called human y. So when x is equal to 5, y is equal to 42.
Um, Relax again. So, you said um, dog's age as x.
Yes, then
So,
human.
or we can say let x
Yeah.
equal to dog's age.
Yes.
Then let
So
y equal to human's
age.
age. Right. Okay.
So the next classification, if
Okay.
if if
If
x
if x
if x is less than or equal to 2,
less than or equal to 2,
yes, then y is equal to 12 times x.
then y is equal to 12 times x.
Yeah, that part where we
Hopefully
wrote x
this.
is less than or
So
less than, it should be less than or equal to, that double
yes, it
sign.
is
Okay,
less
maybe
than or
before you
equal
can
to.
type it.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
it
no
is less
problem.
than or equal to. It is how my this one is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now the third part of it. Can we continue?
Okay. Yeah.
Else, if
Else if
um x is greater than or equal to
x
2,
equal to 2,
then y should be 24.
y equal to 24.
That 24 puts year 1 and 2 in bracket.
I should put like year 1 and 2
Yes.
like that.
Of first and second year, something like that.
Okay.
Then 30 years. That same Y is 30 years in year 3.
Please wait. Y is equal to 24. Into
Year 1
bracket
and
year
2.
1 and 2. Okay.
Yes.
Then comma.
Yeah. 30 years in year 3.
30 years in year 3.
36 in year 4. etc.
36 in year 4.
Yeah.
Episode. Okay.
So this was the explanation I got from the statements and everything. This is what I understood.
Yeah.
So Kelvin and Zoba could continue from there.
Hey, joker.
Okay. Okay, fine. Anyone else want to continue or want to give us how they went about it? So what I'll do is I can put this on a Google document, and then maybe you can access it later if you want. Maybe to, I mean, this is going to be rough work anyway. So if you like to check it out. Yes, please. Yes, it's being recorded at this point.
I'm sorry,
So
Master. I don't know. Go back to the question, please. All right. Okay. A dog that is 5 years old is equivalent to 42-year-old woman. Ashok is writing a program which converts the age of a dog to the equivalent. Okay. The program is the following. The user inputs age of the dog in years. If age is 2 or less, the human equivalent is 12 times the dog's age. Okay. If the age is more than 2, the human equivalent is 24 for the first 2 years plus 6 for every. And this is technical. All right. So it says let's start.
well,
It
like
says the
so,
user
that's how you break it
inputs
down.
the dog's age. So first of all, you go to this thing. You say how should I start this one now? Should I say get all right, just do start first. Start.
Okay.
Do
Can we?
start.
Should we? Okay. Let's.
Yeah.
Hello. Let's break it down, and then let's
Okay.
talk
Okay.
about
Okay.
it. Okay. So okay, great. So now the program is saying that a dog that is 5 years old is equivalent to a 42-year-old human. That's our first knowledge of what the program is going to be. So Ashok or whoever is trying to write the program doesn't really concern us that much. So now they are telling us how the program is going to work. So the program uses the following method. The user inputs the age of the dog in years. We have that one. If the age is 2 or less, the human equivalent is 2 times the age. Sorry, 12 times the age. So first, at this point, we are getting to know that if the age is less than or equal to 2, the age is always going to be 12 times the
Okay.
age. So that means if the age is 1, then it's going to be 1 times 12. If the age is 2, then it's going to be 12, 2 times 12, right? We are, please, hello, please, could you mute yourself, whoever it is?
Thank you.
Seven. Okay. So let's continue. So um, when we have when the when the dog's age is 1, we see that we can say that the human's age is times 12 of that. That means if a dog is 1 year old, how much or how old would a human being be? Anyone? If a dog is 1 year old, how old would a human being be?
Times
The
12.
human should be 12
That
years
should be
old.
12. Yes.
Human will be 12 years.
So,
Okay. So
yes.
if a dog is 2 years old, how old would a human being be?
24.
24.
20 what?
24. 24.
24. Great.
Yes.
So now the other thing is saying that when if it's 2 or less, so that means that if the dog is 3 years, it is no more 3 times 12, right? So we can say that 3 times 12 is equal to whatever the age of the human being is going to be, right? Our condition is exhausted after the dog is 2 years old, but then we have one more condition. If the age is more than 2, the human equivalent is 24 for the first 2 years, right? So if the age is, let's say, 3, let's start from 3. If the age is more than 2, which 3 is more than 2, the human equivalent is 24 for the first 2 years plus 6 for every additional year. So the first 2 years, we have established that a dog will be 2 years, and the human being will be how old?
The
24.
human being should be 12 or 24, depending.
24.
24 for 2
Yes,
years.
great. Okay, great. So then plus 6 for every additional year. So the plus 6 for the every additional year, that means that now we have 3, right? So that means we will first of all try to take out the first 2 years of the dog's years, right? From the additional value that we have. So for every value that we have, we will take out the value, like the 2 values or the 2 years out of the dog's years, because that's the one that we know. Is that making sense? Like, so we have the value of 3 for the dog, right? Now we are going to find the human's age. So it says that for the first 2 years, the dog is going to be 24 years. And currently, the dog is 3 years. So we know that at this point, the dog is already 3 years, and the human being is 24. So we're trying to find how old the human being will be if the dog is 3 years old. And we are told that if the age is more than 2, the human equivalent is equal to 24 for the first 2 years, which we will know. And then plus 6 for every additional year. So for every other year, which is not 2 or less, we are going to add 6. So after we do the subtraction and things, how many years is more than 2 based on the number that we have now? We have the dog here being 3. If we take out 2, what is our value? 1, right? So in that case, then we can say that it's going to be 24 plus 6, right? Just to do something at this point, right? Do we get up to that point? So now, if we do 24 plus 6, what do we get?
30.
Get 30.
Value look sharp.
Right. Right. Yeah. So Valley was going in a nice direction. I don't know why he stopped. But here's the thing. So now we have this particular one here. So we've taken like the first one. So this over here is just to remind you of something, right? So that is fine. And then here we are continuing to add 2 for every year. Now let's see how we can calculate for the 5 years. Let's check how we are going to do for the 5 years. Right. So let's bring up our paper here. So let's say dog's age is equal to 5, and let's say we don't know the human's age. Oops. All right. Okay, so first of all, we know that the first 2 years anyone? We know that like the first 2 years of a dog makes a human being 24, right?
Yes.
Hi guys, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo. So the the first 2 years of the dog makes the human let's say makes human if I can type human well, human 24, right? Right, and then let's say every extra year human is plus 6, quoting what is written in the book. Every additional year, the human being is plus 6 more, right, of the previous value, right? So now, let's say like we've seen that if the age is 2 or less, we know that like we know the calculation to do, and the value mentioned it here that it is 12 times x, which is going to be the value of x at the age of the dog. Right. So now the age of the dog is no more 2, but now 5. So let's like, how do you think like mathematically, how are you going to solve this particular one, right? Like, so first of all, we know the first side. Like we know that 12 by x, which is the dog's age, will give us 24, right? So that is the one given as the 24. So now, what about if we could actually make things easier, and then we could say something like the extra years is equal to whatever the dog's age is minus 5. Sorry, minus 2, right? Are you on the same page?
Yes.
No, only the page for now.
Right. Okay. So now, in this case, we can see that the age of the dog is 5, right? So 5 minus 2,
3.
what do we get? 3, right? So we've already established that for the first 2 years, the dog, like the first 2 years of the dog, the human being is 12 times that age of that, so which is the 24, which we know already. But then for each of the additional years, it's going to be 6 plus plus 6 more, right? Plus 6 of the additional years, right? So for if we have done the part where if the age is 3 plus 6 of 24 was 30, right? Right. So now what we can do now is we know that now we have 3 more additional years. 3 additional years. So what we can do is maybe we can do a good old addition. So 3 24 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, not that 6 anymore. But you see that we have 3 additional years, so that means that we are going to do the first 6, the next 6, and then the next 6. So these are the 3 additional years, right? So when you do this calculation, what was your mark? So that we will check whether it is the same as the one that they said a human being is when a dog is 5 years.
This should be 42.
Yeah, it's 42.
What's the answer? 42, right? So to make things easier, we just sort of take out 2 from any number that is bigger than 2. Then we can add that much of the like the number that we get. So you do 6 more times. So sorry, you add 6 for the number of times that we get this 3. Right. So there are 2 approaches going about this. We can use an iterative approach, which is the one that we will do the for loop or the while loop or any kind of loop that you know. Or we can use one that is much more efficient, which is say that we would have a constant formula which will do it very quickly, no matter the amount that we are given. So let's say that instead of doing this, we see that there's going to be something that is going to really happen. Let's say, for instance, the age happened to be, let's say, 50. I don't know the dog that will be 50 years, but anyway, let's just assume it is 50. So let's say 50, and then when we do 50 minus 2, what is our answer? 48, right? So that means that we are going to do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 for how many times? 48 times. I'm definitely not going to do that thing because, well, by now you should know that I'm a very lazy person. Yes. So the best way that we can do this is by rather saying that, well, first we know that if the age is more than 2, the constant is 24 because we know that like the first 2 years is always 24. Then we can do plus, let's say 3. We can say the extra years times 6. Right. Is that making sense to all of us?
Partially.
Do we get up to this point, like plus the extra years? So
yes.
mind you that this one is in brackets, right? It's in brackets. That means that this one will be evaluated first, right? So let's assume we are trying to do that. So let's say 24 plus 48 times 6. You don't need to write your brain. I have a calculator.
Make value difference.
Let's look at it right here. Okay.
Values brain is calculator now. Where is he? Where value?
Okay, so
Trouble
we have
boy.
the 288, and then when we do plus 24, we are going to get we are going to get the 312, right? So this makes it easier for us. So we don't have to go through each occurrence of the additional year. All we do is we just multiply and then it's a constant value. So we only do it one more time, just one time. Right? So I was doing something similar because I was very tight myself. When I gave the book, I didn't really make the time to go through it, but this is something that I did just so that maybe if that might help you. I think ALX. Okay. Okay. It's inside of a pseudocode, inside of the reference one. Okay, so I think it's supposed to. Okay, so this is what I came about with. This is like something small that I wrote, and then it was very late, like, so I didn't really go through everything, right? So the algorithm that I wrote is to, I mean, it has already been said that the user enters the dog's age in this, right? But then I sort of also mentioned it one more time. So I received the dog from the user, and then we compute. Okay, you see that I was really rushing, so I couldn't write the right things. So I compute the human age. So I'm saying that if the dog's age is less or equal to 2, then the human age is equal to the dog age times 12, right? And then here I'm making a little bit more of verbose something. So I'm saying that if the dog's age is greater than right? So I mean, we can deduce that if the dog's age is not less than or equal to 2, then obviously it has to be greater. So then I'll say that the dog's age is dog times 12, right? So dog age times 12, something like that, just to, but to make it simpler, it is just like the one that we did, the 24 plus x times whatever that we did, and then we got the answer, right? But then just to show you a little that I did, but that is to show that for the same problem, we all can have different approach to solving it. So it doesn't really matter how you solve it, but then it has to be efficient, and then it has to be also it has to answer that question. Right? So we've gone through like that. There are a particular one, but for this one, I think we will leave it for maybe another time. And then for that one, what we do is we rather draw out the flow chart for this one that we did. So we would be drawing out the flow chart for this particular one in the next session if we are able to meet, or if we don't meet to, then you do that in the POD session. But that is what we are able to do. But the important part is that you get to see how to start thinking algorithmically, right? Or how you start to solve issues by yourself, right? So we'll pause here, and then if there are any questions, we take it, and then we should be wrapping up for tonight. Are there any questions for tonight? Questions, or we should call it a night, and okay, so then I guess I would nope, we can't do that this evening. That is a task that you will have to go and try yourself. I would end the recording, and then if you want to stay back, you can stay back for some time. But make sure that you are learning.